Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to discuss the significance of the Pisces Stellium that's occurring in the late degrees of Pisces throughout most of April 2025, as this is where we're going to have Mercury stationing direct on April 7th at 26 degrees 50 minutes of Pisces, conjunct the North Node and conjunct Saturn. Then on April 12th, we will have Venus stationing direct at 24 degrees 50 minutes of Pisces, also conjunct Saturn and conjunct the North Node. There are 4 planets and points here in these last 5 degrees of Pisces, and the 2 stationing direct planets brings our personal energy fields to the themes, lessons, and expressions that both Saturn and the North Node in Pisces are directing us towards. We're going to unpack this more specifically in today's show because this is a big theme in April, but there's also more involved here as we also experience Uranus in Taurus making a sextile to these planets and points in Pisces, plus Mars in Cancer is trining all 4 of the planets and points in Pisces until Mars enters Leo on April 18th. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of astrology, and it is, but I'm going to simplify it for you and hopefully deliver some messages that resonate for you around the themes of April and specifically your soul's messages that are meant to come through loud and clear here in April. So as we begin, you want to identify in your chart where you have 24, 25, and 26 degrees of Pisces in your chart. That's where these energies are focusing and they are creating a tight stellium. And as we move through April, Saturn will reach 27 degrees of Pisces as well. When there is a lot of astrology happening at once, we look for the hierarchy in the energies. We look at what is the most dominant energy that takes center stage, what is the most impactful and influential. And in this case, there are a few energies I want to call out as being the most important. First of all, when we're talking about a stellium of planets in one sign, in this case, Pisces, that means the planets are all close together and the universe is bringing your attention to this area of your life. The universe is saying, hey, take a look at what's going on for you in the house placement where you have 24 to 27 degrees of Pisces. Right here is where the transitions are occurring. Endings are happening. There is an elevation and growth potential that you're meant to welcome and embrace. And this is also where change is necessary. So change is necessary. And because it's in Pisces, you've already been feeling it and sensing it. We've been through eclipse season. There's been a lot going on, a lot up in the air. You could even feel that you've been quite distracted, overwhelmed, trying to focus and get things done. And now the universe is saying right here is where the changes are occurring that are asking you to be more intentional and aware of what you are phasing out, where you need to say no, what you're stepping away from, and what your understanding has served its purpose, and now you're meant to move on. These are some of the broader themes of Pisces, and we've already been experiencing them because over the past few months, planets and points have been activating the Pisces areas of your chart. So this isn't necessarily new. This is something you've already been in, feeling and sensing. But now in April, the universe is saying, okay, it's time. It's time to make these decisions. It's time to move forward. It's time to shift gears and do something in a new and fresh way that benefits where you're going next. And one of the reasons why this particular message is so powerful is because all of these Pisces energies are ruled by Neptune. And as you know, if you've been in astrology here for even a few weeks, you know that we've just had a big experience of Neptune entering Aries. So the energy has shifted in what these Pisces planets and points need to take care of. The ruling planet Neptune is no longer in the sleeping giant of Pisces. Neptune is now in the initiator and new adventures of Aries. This is maverick energy. This is where you are being guided to trust what you want, create a new chapter, and move into a new dream that you've been waiting for. Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years. That was its home sign, its home turf, had a very nice synergy and energetic expression in Pisces. Now Neptune is asking us to look at where we're ready for a powerful new start that is in beautiful alignment with who you are now. And this is an honoring energy. It's self-honoring, honoring how you've evolved, changed, and grown, honoring your own personal path and your own spiritual ascension. What do you want next? Because Neptune in Aries is saying we're at the starting line here. We're revving the engines and we're about to move into this whole new frequency terrain. But in order to do so, what do you need to finalize and let go of in these late degrees of Pisces that could feel like it's holding you back? It's connected to perhaps previous stories, previous versions of yourself, previous cycles, karma, lessons, responsibilities, commitments that you're realizing you're done with. You're phasing it out. It no longer supports you or resonates. It's no longer a part of this new adventure or these new parts of yourself that are coming in that you're connecting with. Now, do keep in mind this can be confusing. You could feel split in two. You could feel that you're being pulled in between worlds or in between timelines. So this is an important time to get quiet and drop into your body, your intuition, and your energy. And by dropping into it, you are disconnecting from the dominance of the mind, the shoulds, the immediate impulses that we can unconsciously operate off of. You're dropping into your own deeper wisdom that is softer, gentler, more fluid, and more alive, giving you a direction, decisions, and opportunities to prioritize while acknowledging what is complete for you and also in a transitionary phase. Keep in mind that in April, there are transitions here that are playing out, and it feels like there's this interesting dynamic where Saturn conjunct the North Node in Pisces is going to make it evident to you what is the correct direction to go for you and what is not. Sort of like if you were to make a choice and you weren't completely certain, but you're like, I think this is the way to go. Right away, if it is not the correct path, Saturn is going to give you a dead end sign. You're going to get that dead end sign and course correct faster with Saturn conjunct the North Node. And that is the other big priority of energies here in the mix. So Neptune now in Aries is significant since it is the ruling planet of the Piscean stellium. But Saturn conjunct North Node in Pisces is also very important. Saturn is conjunct the North Node about every 12 years. And here in April, the exact conjunction will occur on April 14th at 26 degrees of Pisces. And the last time Saturn was conjunct the North Node was in September 2013 at 9 degrees of Scorpio. So we haven't had this conjunction since 2013, but this is the first time in at least 100 years it's occurring in Pisces. So Saturn conjunct the North Node is bringing your attention to what you have accomplished, where you have been successful and responsible in taking care of matters in your life. The conjunction with Saturn brings in how you're handling your life responsibilities, your energy systems, which is Pisces, how you're facing practical matters or emotional issues with that Saturn responsibility. Saturn brings in the strength to stand on your own, to face challenges, blocks, and limitations in a way that honors your personal integrity and self-dignity. Saturn is where we essentially gain strength in our backbone. You could think of it as the energetic spine, the sense of standing in who you are with full ownership. And when Saturn is conjunct the North Node relates to what we are fated and destined to experience in this lifetime. The North Node is where we are meant to grow and expand, to open up into new areas of ourselves to embody and experience. So the North Node and Saturn conjunct in Pisces are bringing up karmic issues, consequences, responsibilities, and commitments in how you have handled things that perhaps have been unsettled, unfinished, unhealed in previous lifetimes. This brings up how you are showing up to the tasks at hand in Pisces to take care of what you need to take care of, most likely on your own, trusting yourself like never before, but understanding this is also how your soul is freeing itself from issues in previous lifetimes or timelines that you were not able to finalize or complete. This is such a strong finishing energy that I know I sound repetitive in this podcast repeating this theme, but I want to make it very evident that the universe is saying, we're tying things up here. We're putting a period at the end of the sentence. We're wrapping this up in a bow and you're moving on, but you need to do so by ensuring you are in your responsibility and your maturity for whatever that is for you. And so this is about understanding how powerful you are as an energy master, and that even if certain things are unfolding and you don't know the full story, if you will, there's a part of you that understands I'm just going to handle this, take it on, finalize it, and complete it for the best and highest good of all. And that is another theme here in these Piscean stellium energies, is to be in your unity consciousness, to understand that I will be empowered by the fullness of my soul to complete and finalize energies, themes, patterns, emotions, and experiences for the best and highest good of everyone involved, including myself, and doing so with love and compassion for everyone involved. And when you are in those high frequencies, you are totally earning all the stars. You are certainly aware of your own energetic influence that can be both known and unknown. Meaning, again, there's things that you might not fully understand. You might not feel like you have all the details, all the specifics, the full story, but none of that matters. And in Pisces especially, it fades away into the ethers. It isn't important. What's important is the energetics and what you are closing out. So Saturn conjunct the North Node means that you are at an important choice point here around completing karmic lessons, experiences, soul contracts, spiritual experiences, and unfinished energies from multiple realms. And you're going to feel that Saturn is bringing you to that understanding. Saturn is going to direct you towards where you need to take responsibility and or honor commitments in order to fulfill and finalize what you are destined to end. So this is a very strong reality check as well. Keep in mind that even though it's in Pisces, which is the invisible, the mystical, and where we don't have logic or rationale all the time, there's a part of you that absolutely knows and understands this is the task at hand. This is what I need to take care of in April because I'm ready to finalize it, and I'm doing so with the best intentions for myself to move on, to be complete, and to not take any karmic baggage forward. Saturn relates to leaders, elders, authorities, those in charge, mentors, and people who are responsible for others. Each of these roles and archetypes are going to be held to new standards as Saturn is conjunct the North Node, and it's going to be quite visible and seen in what needs to be taken seriously and where people need to be held accountable. Accountability is a Saturn word, and this accountability can lead to endings, downfalls, resignations, dismantling of structures, corporations, businesses that are not upholding the highest possible standards. Saturn conjunct the North Node will make it clear what needs to change and shift going forward, so this can be viewable for all. This is a highly public energy. It has a public placement to it, which could be beneficial or difficult depending on the lessons and matters at hand. This conjunction is occurring after the exact eclipses, and the eclipses are directly connected to the nodal axis, so matters can be amplified here. Saturn conjunct the North Node right after eclipse season is going to make issues more prominent and evident, although in Pisces, there can be mass confusion and the need to disassociate instead of face matters head on. So there's a seriousness here. And again, in your chart, 26 degrees of Pisces, whichever house this is occurring in for you, is where Saturn is bringing your attention to things that you need to handle, take care of, complete, and face in order to move on without that unfinished karma trailing behind you. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, this area of your chart is extra important because Mercury stations direct and Venus stations direct here with Saturn and the North Node. So we bring both of those into these details we've been covering. So Mercury stationing direct here, conjunct Saturn and the North Node, means that it is a time of honoring what is truthful and real. How we communicate, what we say, what we're sensing, how our intuition is directing us to believe things that perhaps we thought was one way, but's truly another. This energy can reveal untruths, propaganda, white lies, harmful words that have been used against others that are not true. The liars, those who use gossip being one of the cheapest currencies there is. Those who rely on control mechanisms, the master manipulators who think they can say anything and people will just believe it. People will just go along with it. And of course, no one wants to think that they're naive or gullible, but those revelations can certainly come out here in April as Mercury stations direct. And as it does so, it hangs out for an extended period of time, conjunct Saturn and conjunct the North Node. That's significant here. These are highly focused transits because the planets are sitting together for a longer amount of time. When we look at this Mercury stationing direct on April 7th, again at 26 degrees, 50 minutes of Pisces, it's conjunct the North Node, conjunct Saturn, basically until Mercury enters Aries on April 16th. So the first half of April, Mercury is bringing your attention to what Saturn and the North Node need to convey to you. The messages are louder. There is something grabbing your attention, bursting your bubble, asking you to consider, is this true for you? Is this in alignment? And at the same time, as these conjunctions are occurring in Pisces, the planets in Pisces are sextiling Uranus in Taurus, which is at 24 and 25 degrees. And that Uranus in Taurus is shaking things up, bringing in the surprises and liberations around simple truths, clear understandings of what to work with, what to rely upon, and what you need. Typically, the Pisces and Taurus energies together are calm, reflective, and harmonious. But when we look at all of this together, the energies are stronger. And I feel like it's going to bring some things into focus. It's like zooming in on where the image was fuzzy and then seeing, no, this is what is true and real. This is what I'm meant to see. And you're going to also feel it in your emotional body. The Uranus in Taurus sextile influence is going to help you with making the changes. It's going to feel like, yes, I'm ready. I want this. Let's do it. Let's go ahead. So that's going to help move out of any stagnation, overwhelm, fear, and uncertainty that the Pisces stellium brings up. And Uranus comes in and says, okay, let's get moving. Here's the next step. This is where you need to go. And in Taurus, it lines up those practical elements as well as the resources. So keep in mind that if, for example, there is a job loss occurring, this Uranus and Taurus brings in what you can do next that will offer a short-term fix or something that helps you to make money. Even if it's not going to be the next big thing, it at least supports you in the transition and the changes. And then we also have this Mars in Cancer trining the planets in the late degrees of Pisces. And Mars in Cancer brings in the emotional charge to move ahead and make progress. Now we know that Mars is exhausted after his retrograde and after spending so much time in the watery domains of Cancer. This Mars is tired and is ready for a break. He's in these final laps of Cancer, and he's going to bring in a supportive yes, let's go for it, let's do it. And this Mars is also receiving a sextile from that Uranus and Taurus. So the earth and water signs in these late degrees are being invigorated with this lineup of energies. If you feel like you've been drifting, Mars in Cancer turns on the engine. Uranus and Taurus is the turbo boosters, and here we go. The change is happening. It's right on time at a cosmic level, and now your emotional body and your physical self is ready to put energy towards what needs to transition. And then we bring into the equation Venus stationing direct on April 12th at 24 degrees 50 minutes of Pisces. Venus is finances, relationships, priorities, values, your creativity. And her conjunction to Saturn and the North Node is showing you what you need to take care of, where you need to be held responsible and make some new choices that honor your self-love and what you're ready for next, but also what you need to take care of now. So in a practical way, this could be looking at areas of your life that you need to cut back financially. Perhaps looking around at what you own and seeing what you need to sell, donate, or get rid of. Maybe there are possessions you can recycle or give to friends or neighbors. This is the energy of endings when Venus is here in Pisces, conjunct Saturn and conjunct the North Node. Something has served its purpose and you understand that. And you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready for a simplification to clear out what is not valuable to me. Venus conjunct Saturn brings our attention to our financial responsibilities, including credit cards, mortgages, leases, subscriptions, where you make payments every month, where you have responsibilities, debts, taxes, and the choices that need to be made at a practical level. This is the energy of minimizing and saving because Saturn wants you to think of the long term, including retirement, investments, insurance, and long-term planning matters. And that is also evident with the North Node here. So we are taking a good hard look at our financial energies, where they're going, where they're being invested, what works for you, what doesn't. Perhaps it's a time to refinance, sell, or consider new ways of bringing in money and making money. Not only is this about your financial energy, but it's about your creative self. What is showing up for you that you want to make real, what you want to put into some type of form, structure, or experience that Saturn and the North Node will support. You might have some new downloads around your creative self, around something you want to experience or try, because it truly resonates with you and you're feeling a lot of energy around it. Saturn brings in the practical components of how do I make this work? How do I create this? How do I structure this? And the North Node will assist in what you need to do to get it to the next point or to move it ahead. Venus also relates to relationships, partnerships, cooperation, and sharing of energies. It's going to bring your attention to matters with the feminine, both in yourself and in others. Venus conjunct Saturn in the North Node brings your attention to what is working for you and what is not working for you, where those connections to friendships, sisters, partners, spouses, lovers, dates are truly good for you, where they are showing you more of who you are, what you need, and conversely, where they are not, where you have outgrown a certain connection or relationship, perhaps seeing it in yourself or feeling it in your experiences with others. Since Mercury is also in the mix here, this is where you could have some important conversations and discussions about where the connection is going, what the relationship means to each of you. This can be important for long-term planning together, ensuring that you're on the same team, you have the same goals and directions in life, or understanding that we're on different paths. We aren't on the same page. We want different things, but how do we make this work? And can we make this work? So relationship themes are certainly highlighted here as Venus stations direct, conjunct Saturn and the North Node. This is turning point energy. And important to note that it also occurs on the same day as the Libra full moon at 23 degrees of Libra. I'll have separate videos for you discussing that energy, but it brings up how you're feeling about something or someone in your life, whether or not you are seeing them clearly, since Venus is conjunct Saturn in Pisces, if all is really what it seems, and what you need to acknowledge about healthy dynamics in your life. Are these relationships healthy and supportive? Are they mutual? Are they working for both of us? Or what do we need to shift, change, and improve? So this can be a good time to have those healthy relationship conversations, especially if there's anyone you have taken for granted or you have felt disconnected from. The universe might bring you into a place of having an important conversation that benefits both of you and can strengthen your connection to each other. That is one of the good influences here of Venus conjunct Saturn and the North Node. And too many times when we're in long-term relationships, we can take our partner for granted. We can become disconnected from them, feel that we don't really know them anymore, and don't prioritize who they are, what they need. So allow this to be a transit that supports healthy relationship development and brings you both onto the same page in your connection. Now, that being said, the strong focus on Pisces energies might mean that you need more time to yourself. You need to think things through and require reflection, require downtime. You want to be alone. You want to be able to do your own thing and disconnect from the busyness and stimuli of the world. There could be a sense here of needing to turn inward and focus on what you're hearing and sensing within yourself that's requiring you to trust even more. Because this energy is so private and internal, your soul is asking you to honor who you are at this time on your journey and truly listen to what you need, what you desire, and what you want. Prioritize your own needs. Prioritize what this year means to you and allow that to be a way of loving yourself more. You could realize something that you're lacking or that you don't have. You could feel powerless with the strong Pisces energies, that the situation is too big, the energies are too overwhelming, I don't know what to do, I just feel weak, my energy feels low. It would be easy to feel discouraged, depressed, and disconnected as well. So I want to offer that in case that is something you're moving through or sensing at this time, because the Pisces energy is redirecting you higher to your soul's wisdom. And that is part of the Pisces dance, where we feel a need to disconnect from everything going on in the physical world and to return to our natural state of being pure energy in the ethers. You might sense that an energy clearing is happening for you during this Pisces influence. You might be feeling that being alone and being in your own energy is the only way to clear out all the nonsense and to hear what's truly essential for you at this time on your journey. That can be another effect of strong Saturn energies, is that you just want to be left alone to figure something out, to think it through, to contemplate or review what's been happening for you either in your life now or perhaps over many years in your life. This could be a time to understand your next level goals, where you want to direct your energy forward. And Saturn conjunct that North Node is signaling, this is what I want next in my life. This is the next level dream and inspiration. This is what matters to me. And even if I don't know how it's going to come about, how it will happen, I am deeply connected to it at an energetic level. And that's what I'm feeling and sensing. And maybe you just need time to yourself to figure out next steps. So I feel that many people could be in hermit mode and pulling back. If so, don't take it personally. The Pisces energy is very sensitive, empathetic, and highly aware of what is unspoken, but make sure you're not overly personalizing anything and remembering that everyone is on their own journey and everyone is figuring out some big things this year, whether or not they consciously realize it. There could be some significant life developments that come through that force people to make choices or look at their lives in a whole new way. So it's a good time to practice compassion for each other, to understand that everyone is on their own journey, their own path, and that we don't often have the full story. We don't know everything that is going on in someone's world or someone's life. And in fact, it's none of our business. It isn't our business to intrude or think that we should have access to that. Rather, we can send each other love, strength, compassion, as well as trust that I know we're each going to figure it out. We're all going to figure out exactly what we need to believe in at this time. And one of the most powerful ways of doing so is to listen. Listen to what your soul is bringing forward for you and ask for guidance. Ask for the information and answers to be evident and clear. Please show me exactly what I need to see. Please show me exactly what I need to do next. Make it so evident that I can't miss it. Make it so obvious that it is also graceful and easy for me to take those steps forward. So this Pisces stellium of energy in April dominates the month. And as both Mercury and Venus make conjunctions to Saturn and the North Node, we're going to feel and sense the ways forward, the changes that are necessary at this time, and where we are transitioning away from one version of life and moving into the next version. So again, where you have 24 to 27 degrees of Pisces in your chart by house placement is where the universe is pointing your attention to growth, changes, and transitions throughout April. And hopefully this has given you a good heads up into the bigger picture, as well as understanding how it's beautifully on time for you. We'll keep talking about these energies in my Wednesday podcast as we discuss the weekly astrological transits unfolding. And hopefully that will also help you keep pace with what is showing up for you as well. If you want to learn more about what is happening in your chart here with that North Node in Pisces, taking you into new territory and asking you to embrace and welcome more of your spiritual growth, please check out my online course about the nodes of fate, where we discuss in depth what the North Node in Pisces is ushering in for you, as well as what that South Node in Virgo is closing out and completing. That South Node in Virgo is saying you have fulfilled this part of your path. It's time for changes and upgrades here, which could help you understand what is unfolding for you at this time. I cover a lot in this online program around the nodes of fate and helping you connect to next levels of enlightenment that you're moving towards, as well as grounding peace into the present moment. So please check this out, especially if you have planets or points in Pisces and Virgo, as this energy is working with you more specifically. This also pertains to those of you born in the mid 1960s, and or if you have Uranus and or Pluto in Virgo. This is a more significant nodes of fate transit for you. I'll put the details below the podcast here if you want to click over and check out more about this program. Otherwise, I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast episode as we continue through these big 2025 energies together. You can find all of my latest courses, programs, and updates at mollymccord.online. Plus, check out my YouTube channel where you'll find a ton of free resources, chart videos, and astrology playlists to help you understand your natal astrology chart even more. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.